Have you ever pondered about the wisdom and fairness embedded in Islamic inheritance laws? These laws are not man-made. Rather, they originate from the Quran, the divine word of Allah. The roots of Islamic inheritance laws can be traced back to 3 specific ayahs or verses in the Quran. Specifically, they are found in Surah Nisa, that's Surah number 4, verses 11 to 12 and 176. These verses lay down the fractional shares that form the backbone of Islamic inheritance laws. They meticulously detail the distribution of wealth among heirs, ensuring justice and fairness are maintained. This divine wisdom of wealth distribution is not just arbitrary numbers. It carries deep wisdom and understanding of human relationships and societal norms. So, how do these laws ensure justice and equity among heirs? Let's delve deeper. To unravel the wisdom behind Islamic inheritance laws, we need to dissect the Quranic verses that outline them. These laws are derived from 3 key verses in Surah Nisa, specifically verses 11, 12, and 176. Let's begin with verses 4, 11, and 12. Here, Allah instructs about the distribution of an individual's estate. The male child receives a share equal to that of 2 females. But if there are only daughters, 2 or more, they get 2/3 of the estate. If there is only 1 daughter, she gets half. The parents each get 1/6 of the estate if there are children. If there are no children, the mother gets 1/3. But if there are siblings, the mother's share decreases to 1/6. If a person leaves a spouse, the allocation changes again, with spouses receiving either a half or a 1/4 of the estate, depending on whether there are children or not. Now let's look at verse 176. Here, Allah provides guidance for situations where a person leaves neither ascendants nor descendants. The verse specifies that if a man dies, leaving only a sister, she will have half of what he left. If there are 2 sisters or more, they will have 2/3 of what he left. If there are both brothers and sisters, the male will have the share of 2 females. The rationale behind these shares is rooted in the financial responsibilities of men and women in Islamic society. The male is responsible for the financial upkeep of his family, whereas a woman's financial upkeep is the responsibility of another, such as her husband or father. Hence, the disparity actually favors women, as the wealth they inherit is theirs to use as they wish, and not for household expenses. This financial advantage protects them from any circumstances that would place them in financial difficulty. With these verses, we see a clear framework for the distribution of wealth, but what is the process? Upon a Muslim's passing, a strict process of wealth distribution follows, ensuring fairness and fulfillment of obligations. This process begins with covering the cost of a modest funeral, honoring the deceased's life, and preparing them for their final journey. Following this, any personal debts or loans left by the deceased are settled, reflecting the Islamic principle of honoring one's financial responsibilities. Next, any unfinished Islamic obligations such as fidya or unpaid zakat are paid. This signifies that even in death, a Muslim's commitment to their religious duties does not cease. After these obligations have been met, up to 1/3 of the estate can be distributed at the deceased's discretion, although this is not a requirement. Finally, the remaining 2/3 of the estate are distributed among the Quranic heirs, ensuring each receives their rightful share. Islamic inheritance laws, therefore, not only ensure equitable distribution, but also uphold the sanctity of obligations and debts.